Hi, thanks for watching. Welcome to my views and news. Three news stories. First one is from Eritrea. Are Eritrean spies operating in Europe? A Swiss news portal has published an article about alleged presence of Eritrean spies in Switzerland. Secondly, Debre Marcos town, East Gurjum zone. Fano fighters entered the city around 48 hours ago. It was retaken by Fano. What is happening there now? Is Fano in control of Debre Marcos? Thirdly, southern Ethiopia, less covered by news outlets. Territorial administrative disputes are happening. They are the source of conflicts in different parts of Ethiopia. Around 20 people have been killed in southern Ethiopia in clashes between security forces and locals over the administrative boundaries of a city there reportedly. Firstly, viewers, are Eritrean spies operating in Europe? Does Eritrea have this reach that it has managed to penetrate European institutions? A Swiss news portal has published an article. Watson is the name of the news portal, watson.ch. Rolf Rohner is the name of the writer. Rolf interviewed some Eritrean refugees who arrived in Eritrea years ago, a judge who fled Eritrea. And based on his interviews, he claims that Eritrean spies have infiltrated Switzerland's migration authority. According to the writer, most of these spies are operating as translators. Whenever Eritrean refugees enter Europe, obviously they file cases for asylum and they need translators. These translators are part of the migration authority. They translate the talk of refugees into the local language. And Rolf claims that a refugee arrived in the Switzerland in 2016 and the refugee claimed that he was threatened by his translator. The translator told the refugee should not speak against Eritrean government, Eritrean president. And since he was new to Europe, he was scared. The writer further claims that the information shared by these refugees who enter Europe is leaked. Family members of these refugees are then threatened in Eritrea. The writer further mentions the name, not actual name, but the story of a judge who was working as a judge in Eritrea, then he fled. And the judge says that when he was in Eritrea, he knew that there were Eritrean spies operating in Europe. The writer claims that Swiss government has launched an investigation into these allegations. Well, if Eritrea has managed to penetrate migration authority, other institutions of Europe, it means Europe has a lot to think about. It means Eritrean intelligence agency is so powerful that it can penetrate the it penetrated those countries' institutions which claim that they are the most advanced and developed countries with most advanced and developed institutions. Let's see how the investigation is conducted. Will it be made public or not? Perhaps that is why Eritrean festivals are being opposed. Brigade Nihamido members are risking their status in Europe, America, Canada to stop these festivals, because Brigade Nihamido members, opposition groups, they claim that these festivals are used to blackmail Eritreans to raise funds for Eritrean government. Migration is a big issue for Eritrea. Eritrea openly says that West is trying it is backing migration of youths from Eritrea. And it wouldn't be surprising if Eritrea has adopted some methods to stop this migration. Methods include action against family members of those who flee Eritrea, and maybe they have penetration into European institutions as well. Secondly, viewers, East Gojam, Debre Marcos, a town, city, which came under Fano control 48 hours ago. The city has changed hands several times so far. It was under Amhara regional control a month ago. Then Fano fighters entered the city. They attacked the police training center to her. They captured the entire city. Then came counteroffensive from Ethiopian military, which took control of Debre Marcos and 5 other cities. Curfew was imposed, and then military tried to open nearby roads and cities too. Military was relocated. Some units of military were relocated from Debre Marcos to nearby villages, towns. Fano fighters took advantage of the situation and they re-entered Debre Marcos 48 hours ago. Again, then came counteroffensive, heavy mobilization of ENDF towards Debre Marcos happened. There was fighting inside the city. Now, reportedly, military is inside Debre Marcos city. Fano fighters are in the outskirts of Debre Marcos. It means that Fano fighters have withdrawn, which isn't surprising, very expected. That is what happened. Fano fighters enter big cities. They get logistics, they get weapons, they carry out attacks on ENDF units, they inflict losses on ENDF, then they retreat. And then when they retreat, they don't go far away from town, city. They are still there in the outskirts, some units within the city, in the city, and some in the outskirts, some in nearby town cities. So they maintain their presence close to big town cities. At the same time, they try to weaken the Ethiopian National Defense Force by trapping, by involving ENDF on multiple fronts. So, Fano fighters out of main city of Debre Marcos, but it is still an uphill task for military to open the road. Dejan, Lumame, Debre Marcos, Dambicha, Finote Silam road, other road as well, Debre Work, Mota and Dejan road. These two roads are very difficult to be opened by military, because there are several towns on these two roads where Fano fighters have presence, they have support. They withdraw from these towns when military launches big offensives, but then they re-enter or they start ambush attacks on ENDF convoys along these two roads. Overall situation is not under government control in East Gojam and West Gojam, though Fano fighters have retreated reportedly from Debre Marcos city. Thirdly, your southern Ethiopia, territorial disputes, land disputes, border disputes are spread across Ethiopia. These disputes and ethnic conflicts are two major causes of conflicts in Ethiopia. Southern Ethiopia region, where around 20 have been shot dead by security forces reportedly. It happened near Arba Minch city, around 18 kilometers away from Arba Minch city is a Kabyle called Shara Kabyle. It was being rumored that Shara Kabyle was going to be part of Arba Minch city. Arba Minch police and Gamo zone administrative officials entered Shara Kabyle on Thursday. That led to start of clashes, exchange of gunfire between locals of the Kabyle and security forces. This exchange of gunfire went on for hours reportedly, and 18 casualties are being confirmed, 18 killed and several dozen injured. It has been confirmed by doctors at Arba Minch Hospital and other hospitals in this area. So while government is creating new regional states, not along ethnic lines, still there are disputes which are unresolved. Why? Maybe it's because some groups in these new regional states are opposing the creation of the regional states, like Volaitas, Gurages. They have been campaigning for separate regional states. They did not want to be part of the new regional structure. We saw clashes, we saw protests, arrests of both Volait and Gurage people. But government implemented the decision. Central Ethiopia region, Southern Ethiopia region have been created. But still, we receive reports about protests, about confrontation between security forces and local people in these two zones. Let's hope that things settle and the new regional structure is accepted by the people. If 18 have been killed near a city in southern Ethiopia region, it means that either people were misguided or people were not taken on board about the new administrative boundaries of Arba Minch city. Thanks for watching.